everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace today, and I'm going to use some of the beads from the most recent bargain bead box, the Woodland Whimsy collection. In case you're not familiar, bargain bead box is a monthly subscription of beads and findings. It's $22.99 a month, and that includes shipping in the United States. They have beautiful beads and findings. It's always curated around a different theme each month. And if you're a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains. And you can use it as many times as you want to during the month, and they already have great prices. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. And here I've got the 8mm Unicut round beads that came in the box. And I've got some bead caps in there. I've got 3 different kinds of bead caps from my stash. So I've put them in with the beads that they're going to go around. So I've got the 8mm Unicut round beads with some bead caps from my stash. I've got the 6mm Autumn Jasper round beads with some bead caps from my stash. I've got the 10mm electroplated agate druzy round beads with some bead caps from my stash. I've got the 6x4mm crystal rondelle beads opaque peach shimmer. I've got some galvanized Durcoat galvanized gold 11-ohs I'm going to use for spacers. I've got some findings in here. I've got a lobster clasp, a couple of 2x2 crimp tubes, a couple of wire guardians, a couple of pieces of the chain that came in the box, a little piece of paperclip chain I'm going to use as an extender, some jump rings, and I've got a ball head pin and one of the little rondelle beads I'm going to hang off the extender chain as a dangle. This is going to be a really simple, easy, beginner-friendly necklace. I'm using my Soft Flex beading wire and fine. This is champagne, but you can use whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter once you get all the beads on there. You're not going to be able to see the bead stringing wire anyway. I've got my bead stoppers here. And hold on, I'll get my tools and show you what my tools are I'm using. I've got my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, and both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers. I've got both pairs of my crimping pliers and both pairs of my cutters. Obviously, I don't need 2 pairs of crimping pliers, but I use these for crimping. I like those better for crimping. And these, I use the half circle part at the end to tuck in the burrs that are left when I cut off wire. I mean, I could do that with these, but I had these first, and then I got these, and I guess I just still want to get some use out of these, so I use them for that. I've got both pairs of my cutters, and I use one pair for bead stringing wire and the other pair for head pins and eye pins and craft wire, and I do recommend that you use different cutters for your craft wire and head pins and chain and stuff like that than you do what you use for your bead stringing wire, because it can dull if you use cutters with the head pins and eye pins and all that, it will dull. Like these cutters won't cut bead stringing wire. They're too dull. They'll cut head pins and eye pins and stuff, but they won't cut bead stringing wire. So I use these for that. And I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I'll only be using a lot of these tools when I make the dangle that goes on the end of the extender chain. So hold on, I'll get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my beads poured out here. You can't see them because I've got them zoomed in and stuff, but I've got my beads poured out here. This is going to be really, really simple stringing. I'm going to use one of my bead caps that I'm using to go around my 6mm beads, and a 6mm bead, and another bead cap, and one of my 11-oh seed beads, and another bead cap, and a 6mm bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0, and a bead cap, and a 6mm bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0. Now I'm going to use one of these rondelles, and an 11-0, and now I'm going to use one of the bead caps that goes around my 8mm beads, and an 8mm bead, and another bead cap, and an 11-0, and another bead cap, and an 8mm bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0, and a bead cap, and an 8mm bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0, and a rondelle, and an 11-0, and then I'm going to use one of the bead caps that goes around my 10mm druzy agate beads, and one of the 10mm druzy beads, and another bead cap, and an 11-0, and a bead cap, and a druzy bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0, and another bead cap, and a druzy bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0, and a rondelle bead, and an 11-0, and I'm going to use one of these bead caps that goes around my 8mm beads, and an 8mm bead, and another bead cap, and an 11-0, and a rondelle, and an 11-0, and then I'm going to use a bead cap that goes around my 10mm druzy beads, and a druzy bead, and a bead cap, and an 11-0, and another bead cap, and a druzy bead, and a bead cap, be careful. You get these little filigree bead caps and get in the right hole. They've got a lot of holes. And an 11-0, and a bead cap, druzy bead, and a bead cap. And an 11-0, a rondelle, and an 11-0. I'm going to have to move my stop bead over here. I'm running out of wire. Okay, now I need one of my bead caps that goes on my 8mm beads, and an 8mm bead, a bead cap, and an 11-0, and a rondelle, and an 11-0, and one of my bead caps that go around my 10mm bead, and a 10mm bead, and another bead cap, and then 11-0, and a bead cap, 10mm bead, bead cap, 11-0, bead cap, 10mm bead, bead cap, get myself some more wire again here. Now I'm on a rondelle. No, I'm on an 11-0. And then a rondelle. And another 11-0. And then a bead cap that goes around my 8mm beads. 8mm bead. Bead cap. 11-0. Bead cap. 8mm bead. Bead cap. 11-0. Bead cap. 8mm bead. Bead cap. It's wanting to go through the wrong hole. And an 11-0. And a rondelle. And an 11-0. And one of my bead caps that goes around my 6mm beads, and a 6mm bead, and a bead cap, an 11-0, a bead cap, $6mm bead, bead cap, 11-0, bead cap, 6mm bead, and a bead cap. So that's what I've got there. Now I'm going to get my crimp beads and wire guardians and I'll crimp it, so I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to crimp. Zoom in just a little bit for this part. I'm going to take my crimp bead, put it on here, put my wire guardian on, go down the other channel of my wire guardian, well, I think I am. Now I'm going to go back through my crimp tube. I'll hold my wires apart so that they're not crossed. I'm going to take my crimping pliers. I'm going to take that part there that's got the little tooth. And I'm going to lay the little tooth on top. I'm going to squeeze. That puts each wire in its own little channel there. Now I'm going to go, there's 3 half circles up through here. I'm going to go in the middle one because that's the one for the 2mm crimp tubes, which is what I'm using. I'm going to lay my crimp in there, squeeze. Then I'm going to go up to the one for the 1mm crimp tubes and squeeze again, just to make it a little tighter. I'm going to pull. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. And now I'm going to take my other side here and push this all down. I'm going to crimp this side. I'm going to put my crimp tube on and my wire guardian. Take it all the way down here to my beads, and I'm going to take I'll go through the other side of my wire guardian. Back through my crimp tube, and I usually go through a bead or two on this side to get my hands out of the way while I'm trying to crimp. Well, I lost my crimp tube there. Try to make sure not to get my wires crossed. They appear that that's what they're wanting to do. Go back through my crimp tube. Back through my bead if I can. I know I can get through that bead. I'm just having a little extra trouble with the shakes today. Okay, I'm through the bead. Now I'm going to get through this bead cap. All right, now I'm going to get this done. I want to go through the wrong hole of the bead cap. There. Now I'm going to pull my wire through. Hold on to my wire guardian. I'm going to pull my wire through and make sure my wires are not crossed. Pull my wire all the way down. Now I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece, but I don't want it to be too tight either. If it's too tight, it won't drape well. So now I'm going to take my crimping pliers, take the part with the tooth again, lay it on top of my crimp tube and squeeze. And now I'm going to go in that part with the half circles on each side and squeeze again. And go down to the one for the 1mm crimp tubes and squeeze again. Tug. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Okay, so now that's what I've got. So hold on, I'll get my findings and put them on. I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to put my findings on. I've got a couple of pieces of the chain that came in the box. These are about 3.5 inches each. And I've got a couple of little tiny 4mm jump rings here. And y'all know sometimes these little tiny jump rings jump out of my hands. I'm going to open that up and put my chain on there. On one side of my necklace. Close my jump ring up. Make sure it's closed well. Just do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now I'm gonna, and here I've got a 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Put it on this end of my chain. And my lobster clasp. Make sure I get my jump ring closed up really well. Double check that, make sure it got closed well. I think it needs a little extra. Okay, now I've got an 8mm jump ring for this other side. I'm going to put it on here. And put my extender chain on here. Try to get that closed up well. So This is what I've got now. So now I'm going to make a little dangle to go on my extender chain. Take my ball head pin, my rondelle, take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers, put the round nose pliers in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, hold on tight, take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, and I open my loop, which I just almost forgot to do because I forget that all the time. I'm going to thread on my extender chain. And I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Try to hold my chain back out of the way. Bring this wire down some. I'm going to take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. I'm just going to wrap till there's no more room left to wrap. And take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take these crimping pliers and go in that part at the end with the half circle on each side. Tuck in my little bird that's left where I cut off the wire. And now I'm done. So hold on, let me put some of my tools up here and I'll be back. Okay, there's my very simple and easy little necklace made with the latest Spark & Bead box, the Woodland Whimsy collection. I know I made it look a little harder than it actually is when I was fumbling with that crimp tube, but that's just because the shakes are a little bit worse today than they usually are. But it's not a hard necklace to make at all. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box below to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested, if you're not already signed up, and that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.